This is Eagle Ridge Ranch. Pretty cool place. We're out in Idaho.
It is sleeting.
It is sleeting. You can see the sleet pretty heavy. And we're going on this 3-hour ride. And you can't control the weather out here.
My hands are numb.
Your hands are numb?
Hey, at least you got some covering.
That's right.
At least you have some gloves.
So what is it, like 38 degrees out here?
Yes, it's
And-
38 and it's sleeting.
And it's sleeting
And raining.
and raining
And muddy.
and muddy.
And that's going to be our horseback today.
Yeah, 3 hours. Here it goes
Make it that
again.
long.
See, look, it's snowing.
Yeah.
Or sleeting.
A little bit of sleet.
See, look at my.
What's today? June 29th?
Look at my hand. Show me my hand.
Yeah. Look at Mama's head. You can see the sleet over there.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, it's Cody.
And Maddie, and we are on the Mewve too. Today we went horseback riding
At Eagle Ridge Ranch,
in Idaho.
Island Park to be exact. We had a great time, even though it was freezing cold. It was 38 degrees. It was
Felt like
sleeting.
31.
It was sleeting.
Yeah, it was crazy weather, and we were layered up, but I didn't bring my big fluffy jacket, so I was freezing, and Cody was back here behind my horse, and my horses are always slow, and this horse was 20 years old, so it was gonna be slow, but
Okay.
Cody, we had a great time, though.
Yeah,
And he was behind me for the last 45 minutes, and his horse just started eating, and you want to tell him about that story?
so my horse started eating whenever everyone else was like 100 feet up, and my horse was sitting here trying to eat, and I'm like trying to yank him up, trying to stop eating, and then whenever we go down this little ditch, and this horse starts going, it starts going crazy, and we also saw some wildlife such as deer, squirrels, birds. There was some really cool stuff. My dad's horse got so spooked it almost threw him off because there was a deer that jumped and took off the other way. But
Our guide was Brittany, and she was a very good guide. I really highly recommend that place, Eagle Ridge Ranch, because all the people there are really nice, and this was my pick. And after we got off the horses, our legs, mine could not stay straight, and I could barely walk.
yeah, definitely don't try running in boots after because you'll fall.
Because we did the 3
Hour ride
ride.
and in the sleet, rain, and cold, and we were about to freeze to death.
Yes. But overall, it was very fun, and I really highly recommend.
So one of the things that we really enjoy doing as a family is fishing. And we've been out to Yellowstone a couple of times, fly fishing in particular. And so this year I decided to take Cody on a trip, as I thought it would be a pretty cool trip for him to experience. We also did something new, which we decided to use a drift boat trip instead of a walk and wade. We decided to go with Arrick's Fly Shop in downtown West Yellowstone, and BJ was our guide. BJ was a great guide. He knew the water very well. He knew the fly patterns. He knew when to tell us to use a certain fly, switch out, whatever. He was really good at that. So fly fishing the Madison River is, I think, most fly fishermen's dream to do. It's a really cool river, full of rocks. We hit it in late June, which is right around when the stoneflies, salmon flies are hatching, and we had a fabulous time. We ended up catching...
I caught 12, about maybe 9 to 10 trout and 2 whitefish.
Yeah, and Cody caught whitefish, which are native, and then I ended up, he caught like 5 fish before I even caught 1. And so I thought something was wrong with dear old Dad, but I finally started catching a few fish. I caught a rainbow that was right around 21 inches and a brown that was right at 20 inches, and those were pretty cool fish. The rainbow came on a dry fly, which was pretty neat to experience with that fish rising to the top. It took me a couple of casts, but he ended up taking the bait, and we just had a great time. Weather was not so great, right?
No, it was super cold. It was rainy, sleeting, thundering, lightning.
Yeah, it was
all
like
that good
38 degrees. I think it warmed up to about 41, 42. We did take our rain gear, which is an essential. Sunscreen's an essential.
And if you go, make sure you bring waterproof gloves. If it's gonna rain that day and it's gonna be cold, bring waterproof gloves, because if you don't, your hands are gonna freeze off.
And this was in late June. Okay, so you know it's very cool out here even into June and early July. But the fly fishing was awesome. BJ was a great guide, and they just provided us with a really fun time, I thought. And as a father-son adventure, it was a really cool adventure to have. Definitely like to come back and do it again. And with the drift boat trip, you end up covering, how many miles did we cover?
12.
About 12 miles on that trip. If we'd have walked and waded, we'd have only hit a few spots. And you just can't see the amount of territory or cover the amount of river that we did from a walk and wade trip. So highly recommended. Great time. So we're at the brink of the falls. We're right at the canyon, the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone, and just kind of walking along the canyon rim here. Just such a beautiful place. You have to see it for yourself. It does remind me a little bit of the Grand Canyon, but it's on a smaller scale. It is just a little bit smaller, but it's still a long ways down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. And every little stop along here, you can see more and more. Look, there's a little better shot of the falls. Beautiful. I don't know if you can see, but there's a set of stairs on the other side. This Uncle Tom's Trail, which is really cool. It's closed right now, but if you have a chance to do it. A lot of steps, but it takes you down into the canyon, and it's probably the closest you can get to the bottom of the falls. Yep, so we're going on the North Rim Trail.